Hi, my name is Luke from ADRENO Melbourne, and I want to talk about high-end guns and a couple options for you to choose for. This would probably be somewhere around the $600 price point and up. It's going to be an everyday gun that you would use. Typically, you're chasing game somewhere around that 10 kilo and up mark. So that might be kingfish in the southern states, up to jacks and other things in Queensland and stuff like that. So length is definitely something. You're going to be kind of in that 110 is a sweet spot, maybe up to a 120 or 130 depending on the clarity of the water and stuff like that. So things that you'll see in most guns is open muzzle is very, very common. You don't find closed muzzle too often in that kind of price point or range. Twin 16 rubbers is also stock standard. Sometimes the guns are double wrapped in shooting line, so you need enough power to get the shaft to the end of that wrap. Some of the cool things that you'll find in some guns is a reverse mechanism. So quite simply, the shaft itself is clicking in behind where the trigger is. So this is the Pathos laser open carbon, where it does have that feature. All metal in the mechanism, which is also very good. So it's just gonna last longer, so you can get quite a few years of use out of it. It is a carbon gun, extremely lightweight, easy to travel with. This particular model, stock standard, doesn't come with too much overhang. So as travel, the shaft is gonna be the same length as the overall gun there. But pretty much it's rigged with a ADRENO muzzle bungee as well. So it's stock standard, ready to jump in the water. The only thing you wanna do is add a shark clip or just a straight tether, depending on how you're gonna do it. You could rig these for breakaway as well if you needed. So that's a really good option in a carbon gun for you. Another one that is very popular in all states is a Rife Euro. So just picking it up, there's a bit more mass to it, which helps with absorbing recoil. It's a timber stock, so there's no air inside of it. So it doesn't mean it will compress underwater. So I find that my gun at 8 meters is kind of a neutral point for it. It doesn't want to sink anymore, and it doesn't float. So if I'm diving 15 or 20 meters down, this gun is actually kind of working its way back up. Where air-filled guns, which is a standard barrel with plugs in it, that air is going to compress, and the deeper I go with that gun, the more negatively buoyant or the more it'll sink. So I do appreciate these for jumping in off of boat diving in a little bit deeper water. Stock standard, it comes double wrapped in shooting line. It does have a heavy-duty muzzle bungee with a pigtail, which is quite unique. So it's much stronger than a standard little clip. It's definitely oriented for larger game. Twin 16s. One of the cool points here is Rife specializes in adding magnets to their stock. So this shaft actually clicks in place and has a magnet to hold it there for you. So it's much easier as an open muzzle to load for you. So they do have a drill area through the stock that you can add a line, and that was where you're going to add a shark clip if you're going to do that, or a loop that you can attach your float line to. These also work quite well for breakaways and things like that. So very, very comfortable. Safety will go forwards or backwards, however needed, either direction to engage or disengage for you. So a really well thought out, excellent gun. And another carbon option here is the Bosch Marlin carbon. You're seeing their traditional handle on here. The interesting thing to note is where the shark tabs are on this gun. So you have two back here, which would be full power. There's also a cheater tab, which is advanced forward. That can help for loading a longer gun. It'll definitely assist there. Or if you want to shoot something kind of point blank, you can depower one of the bands, and the pan that you have on the gun could be just that 3/4 length. That would be handy for shooting in a hole and shooting a lobster in Queensland or something like that. It does come double wrapped as well, so it's up to you if you want to cut that off or leave it stock standard. 16 mil bands and a good muzzle bungee on it as well. So it's a pretty well thought out gun. It is elliptical, so it's not just a perfectly round barrel. That means if you cut it through the water, kind of a gangster style, it'll go through the water really easy. So it's built for tracking that way. So that's your Bosch Marlin carbon. So any of these guns, you're looking at pieces that are going to last a very, very long time for you, 5 years plus and stuff like that. So any of those three options are going to be good for you.